in a galaxy really, really close by, in a battle of the familiar, but not anywhere close to the same. Blaster-wielding zombie stormtroopers, boring lightsaber duels, and over-important droids are a mere mimicry of the vastly superior works of your youth. Disney Star Wars fans await a spiritless exploit of a girl boss, some interminable characters on a very arid Disney Plus service desperate for people to believe they actually have people watching. How can Disney convince anyone that people are watching and liking their rubbish facsimiles of beloved franchises? Well, they employ an analytical imposter, especially one that is partnered with the trades. Want to know more? Well, let's dive into this ridiculousness one more time. Here we go. Hey Grant, how many more times do you think they're going to try to pull this Parrot Analytics baloney sausage?
305 million times.
Look, I've been shedding light on Parrot Analytics for a very long time now, years even. Basically, it's just another marketing tool for everyone, from content distributors to creators. Yes, it's the force of data analysis. Even if it's false data, Parrot Analytics is the Sith Lord of misunderstood misinformation. That's probably the best descriptive. For our purposes, we're going to focus on the case study of Ahsoka and the Mandalorian. You see, in the Star Wars universe, battles between the light side and the dark side have raged on for generations. Now, a new and very different skirmish has erupted in the domain far less perilous than, well, the world of data analytics. Disney's Ahsoka series, which is essentially a continuation of a superior cartoon series, was supposed to be a savior for Disney Star Wars. It was bound to be a hit, right? Well, the supposed all-seeing eye of Parrot Analytics is being used to reinforce this now. They've declared that Ahsoka recently ascended to heights uncharted by any other Star Wars premiere, including the beloved Mandalorian. You heard that correctly. Parrot Analytics claims that Ahsoka reached a colossal 83 times the average series demand in the US. Now, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. And remember, this is the same platform that believes a Facebook like is the equivalent to watching an entire season of a show.
You're being hyperbolic.
And if you think that is hyperbole, well, it's absolutely not. Look it up for yourself. And according, again, to the all-seeing Parrot Analytics, this fake surge in Ahsoka interest happened because, and drumroll please, a significant male character made a long-awaited debut in episode 6. That's right, Dad Bod Thrawn arrives in all his donut-loving greatness. This guy never mixed in a salad, I can assure you. Now, this is what makes this one episode of Ahsoka special, or so they would have people believe. It awakened a diminishing and abused Star Wars fandom with a single character reveal. It brought back all those people who ignored the first 5-episode bore fest that some of us had to endure so that you didn't have to. And that's what they would like people to believe. And if they could just convince them of that, they might be able to make it true, right? Look, it's not the captivating storytelling that they would want you to believe. It's not the immersive universe, which we know there isn't one. And it's not even the dramatic performances that are being delivered by the likes of, well, Ray Stevenson, who is probably the only good thing on this show. It's an element of surprise. It's what really keeps us coming back for more. That's what keeps us on the edge of our seats. Who would have guessed it? Who would have known? Except it really wasn't a surprise. It was expected from the very beginning of this show. We knew what this was going to be. And these Disney Star Wars knockoff replicas that we've been force-fed by a diminishing company, to put it nicely, was entirely predictable. They've all been that way. This lie is what Parrot Analytics and their employer Disney want you to believe. And of course, Parrot Analytics has been working on this lie since their very inception. They've crafted this narrative, and it's one that I've exposed countless times on this channel, and one that even caught the eye of upper echelon gaming, who in fact tried to incorporate some of my information into a video that he did. And this, my friends, is something that's actually called demand. It's a demand metric. This mystical metric considers everything from streaming numbers to social media chatter, and probably even carrier pigeons. Okay, that's probably hyperbole, but you get the idea. And it takes all of those interactions and magically turns them into something called a demand metric. And even if the interaction is weighted so heavily by negative criticism, they still think it's the same. And of course, that's a huge problem, because this demand thing is as reliable as Jar Jar Binks flying an X-Wing. And similarly, a true measure of a show's success isn't simply based on how many memes it spawns on Twitter. It is likely, or just as likely, or more likely, that it's a colossal failure, in fact. Right now, my favorite memes are the ones featuring Meme Face a Minute Sabine. That's right. But that doesn't mean I watched the show, which of course I did so that you wouldn't have to. It means I'm making fun of this trash fire, and so is everybody else, because they aren't kind memes. Of course there's more at the heart of this saga when it comes to Parrot Analytics. In all of its wisdom, it actually declares that Ahsoka offers Disney Plus something more valuable than even their murky demand metric. Offers a sense of loyalty. Apparently, those who watch Ahsoka are more likely to stick around on Disney Minus, particularly for other Star Wars offerings. Can it be? Is that the true path to retention? Or is it just more spin fodder for the investors who aren't really paying attention? Remember, Disney Plus is slowly losing North American subscribers, so how could this possibly be true in the land of Star Wars? This feels eerily like a Jedi mind trick. These are not the metrics you're looking for. Yeah, I know, not the best Star Wars costume there, but every bit as good as what you're getting in Ahsoka. Look, I tell you, there's not stellar writing here, or dialogue, or characters on display, or any of that. So you know my answer. This is not a good show. In fact, there have been very few of those coming on as originals with Disney Plus. Now, before we wrap up on our data-driven part of this odyssey, let's make a quick pit stop in the Marvel Universe, because it's equally as bad. Do you remember Secret Invasion, the latest loser to Disney Plus's Marvel roster? It premiered to great fanfare with disputable numbers, but touting them none the same. Supposedly, it achieved a staggering 42.1 times the average series demand in its first 30 days. Now that's according to Parrot Analytics. However, it turns out that Ahsoka might have played even better. Hard to believe, right? Here's another useless fact incoming. You ready? Secret Invasion managed only 6.8% of its viewers engaged in other Disney Plus content. Meanwhile, Ahsoka seemed to weave an even more potent spell. It was able to actually keep about 10% of the audience after the episode aired, which meant they kind of looked around a bit. They are literally trying to tout a 10% audience retention for just hanging out, or checking out a different episode, or going back and rewatching the same thing. That's something to crow about. Good grief. At this point, we really need like an analytics Empire Strikes Back channel that calls out the BS around all these Star Wars numbers, because there's plenty of BS to go around. This Disney galaxy seems to be rife with metrics, algorithms, and all kinds of misdirection, leaving us with only one question. And I'll leave it here. Is Parrot Analytics the Sith Lord of data analysis, or merely a lowly stormtrooper lost in a binary wilderness? Remember, Force Analytics can be treacherous to navigate within. So when it comes to Ahsoka, trust in your feelings, you must. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and may the real viewing numbers be with you always. See ya!